The same as you think, that pleasure that you have when you realize you don't need to go to the shops today, because you can make a dinner with what you have in your kitchen. The same kind of pleasure you feel when you realize you don't have to talk. You can nurture your sense of peace with silence. Imagine how beautiful and powerful you become if you learn to say "I don't know" to your mind. Your mind is asking you for answers. It's telling you, what are we going to do? What's going to be the future? What's going to be of you? How are you going to become what you want? What's going to happen? And you reply with kindness, "I don't know. We'll see when it comes." If you show your mind devotion and faith, it dissolves. If you show your mind that you trust, that you will have the right answer when you need it, and if you don't have it now, it's because you don't need it. If you show that to your mind dissolves. That's called faith. If you honor the fact that every time you needed help came through people or situations or different means, and that you know that that power is active and it will be there if you need it, your mind dissolves. Because your mind is that aspect of you that doesn't honor faith, you see. It has no faith. The mind is what you can become when you don't have any faith. It's what, full of fear and insecurity. When you don't see the power of the universe directly caring for you and everyone. When you don't see that, then your mind grows into an ego who is the carer of creation. And that's why it's unproportional. It's like the dog taking for a walk its owner. Hmm? So, if we could learn to say, "I don't know," look, I don't know. I don't have any shame to say I don't know. I say it very often. I use it a lot. You can do like me. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know the future. I don't know how to sort it out. It won't be sorted if it's not meant to be sorted. I don't know. If we could only learn how to say I don't know, and really mean it, not pretend that you don't know. Admit that you don't know. Because that's the truth. We became very good at pretending we know. We know the way, we know how to do things. We know what's best for others. We know what's best for us. We know what shouldn't have happened. And we know what should happen. And all that knowledge is in the way of peace. It's taking it away from here. But when you don't know, all those objects are not there. You don't know how it should have been. And you don't know how it should be. And you don't know how it would be for others better. And you don't know how it would be better for you. What would be better for you? Well, you don't know. Maybe it would be better just to happen exactly what you're trying to avoid. Maybe in that you find a treasure. Amidst the hell of happening exactly what you're so afraid from happening. There you find the treasure. And you know what the treasure is? You know what that treasure is? That you can find when it happens what you try to avoid, and it happens, you see it happening. Yes, you find that you're intact, even in that situation. You thought it was going to be your end, and it wasn't. And that's the present that comes with life, when things happen the way you don't want. You realize you're still well. So maybe whatever you're trying to avoid is the best. Maybe. Maybe yes. Maybe yes. Because the strength of the spirit is incalculable, you know. You just don't, you cannot measure it. And the weakness of the mind is also. Unmeasurable. So it creates this panic situation. The imagination. So it's great to know, to understand our things, you see, because then you find that really you can be still. You know, you're trying to retain that person, not to leave you from close by, because you don't know what's going to happen when you're alone. Or you try to retain that job or that house, because your identity is attached to that place. All those things are better to just go, because then you realize the greatness of your beingness. Only then. So if you can know that the best thing is not to know, if you can just learn this today, this is my teaching. There's one teaching. The best knowledge is to know that you don't know anything. Then you stop moving away from peace. Then you come home and you realize that in not knowing, you are one with peace. You see? You are in peace. You're peace itself. You don't know how or why, and you don't want to know how or why. You don't want to learn anything. You just embedded in this bliss of peace. And around you, life goes on, and people are running behind their thoughts or away from them. Sometimes they're running away from them, and they believe they're running behind them. And they tell you what they're trying to get, and you know they're running away. Sometimes they're running away, and you know they're running the other direction. They're running away from something to happen, and they're making it happen. All that you see around you. But because you've taken a decision, you decided for peace, then you stop running away, and you stop running behind things. Particularly knowledge. And this truth, you see, this secret is so valuable. You don't learn it in any course, you know. Because anywhere you go to study, they will give you information. They will be knowledge. They won't tell you, look, stop that. See how good you are if you admit for a second with me that you don't know anything. See how good is the glory of beingness. If you admit that you don't know anything, you don't really know what's the best for anything. You see, because then everything disappears, all your maps. And once you have no maps, there is no wrong direction. Once there is no destiny, there is no distance to the goal. There is only the path. There's only the way. It's today. So the goal becomes the now, not the future. The goal is the now, not the future. And so peace takes over you, invades your senses and invades your mind, and you become more sensitive to the fragility of it at the beginning. You start seeing, oh look, if I get into, what for? Why should I go to the shops? I have everything here. I have everything here. And the next day, you still have everything here, with the remains of yesterday. And the next day, in a state of peace, you know that with half an onion, you can make a feast. You know it. In a state of peace, you know that.